Well, today I'm going to talk about how chaos is life and life is chaos. That's right. Because if you're living in the world I'm living in right now, what you see is chaos everywhere. And what came to me the other day, I was in meditation, and it came to me that struggle is a part of life. You can't do something new. You can't move into the unknown without the idea of struggle. But there's a difference in the quality of struggle. The quality of struggle when you're moving towards something that you desire, something that's really of high value, the struggle you don't have a problem with. But if you're struggling in an area where it's a low value, it's not important to you, then it's really, really painful. It's difficult to move through. So the key thing is we talk about life being chaotic. We have to define what chaos is. And so for the purpose of my conversation with you, I'm going to give you my definition. My definition of chaos is constant and never-ending change. Think about that. Constant and never-ending change. You know, when you break it down, you've got to understand that life is always expanding, and expansion cannot happen without change. Change is absolutely the only single thing that's you can count on. Think about this. In every moment, your body is creating millions of new cells and releasing millions of dead cells. In 1 year, maybe in less than a year, you've basically replaced all the cells of your body with other cells. Your body is always changing. Think about this. Thoughts are going through your mind. Always new thoughts. The world outside of you is constantly changing. So its energy, reacting with your energy, is causing further change. You have to adjust to the situations in which you're dealing with, the people who are different than they were yesterday. It's like, I'm in my 50th year of marriage with my wife, and she is constantly changing. Not only is she constantly changing, I'm constantly changing, which means what? That our relationship is constantly changing. And if I were to sit back and want my relationship with Jean to be the same as it was back when we were 23, it can't possibly be. We have changed so much. The world has changed so much. So the whole idea of chaos is, can you embrace it? Can you embrace change? Can you understand that it must happen to expand and to grow? And guess what? That's our only purpose. Our purpose is only to expand our level of awareness, and that everything that ever happens to us helps us become more aware. You see, when we stop expanding, we stop the natural flow of life, and we begin to die. See, life is always about growth. Think about this. Think about the 4 seasons. You've got the 4 seasons. What do you do in the spring? You plant. In the summer, you nurture and you grow. In the fall, you harvest. In the winter, you allow it to just be. And then you begin again. The creative process is in all of nature. And the creative process is there to expand. You are meant to expand. You are not meant to be stagnant. You are meant to become more. And guess what? Here's the beauty of it. You were given the freedom to choose what to be more at. In this human body, with this personality that you have, you are unique beyond means, and you have the vessel and the vehicle, and you have the intelligence and the means to expand and grow in any way you choose. One of the things I know about in dealing with chaos, and why I believe life is chaos and chaos is life, and there's always chaos, and I think you'll see this in the world. The world is always seeking balance. And as soon as balance is achieved, there is a change. And this is the natural sequence of life. It's like if you watch the politics of the world right now, the political spectrum has gone over here, and it's going to go so far, and then we're going to bring it back. It's going to come back to the middle. It's going to come back in balance. And then it's going to move to the other side, and it's going to come back. If you look at any aspect of your life, you will see the pendulum moves one way, then it comes back to balance, goes back to the other. What is balance in the body? Balance is what the doctors would call a state of homeostasis, where everything is flowing and in balance. And we get out of balance, and we come back to balance. We really get out of balance in our mind. In other words, for me, being out of balance in our mind is not maintaining thoughts that are serving us, not maintaining a directed thought. If you are, one of your top values is to be healthy, then your thoughts should be on health. They should not be on sickness or things that you identify that would be sickness. Eating 6 donuts every day, drinking 10 sodas every day. You know, everyone knows that that's not healthy. I'm not saying you can't have a donut. I'm not saying you can't have a soda. But you've got to be really conscious that there's a pendulum that if you drink that, you're going to get ill. And then you're going to try to come back to health. That's what we're always doing. But many times what it seems to happen is people give up. They believe they're stuck in their circumstances. They're stuck in the chaos. Remember one thing. Chaos only exists in your mind as a perception of life. And if you look at life that is constantly changing and say this is the natural order of life, what you're saying is, I see it as the observer. I don't have to be attached to life being one way or the other, but rather I can be a part of life. I can flow with the change. That makes you an awakened being. You see, the key thing is, folks, is that in order to grow, we must change. Without change, we will remain in our current experience. Can't be any other way. You want more money? You have to change. You can't keep doing what you're doing. You have to do something more. You have to do something different in order to get more money. You have to serve more people. So if you're saying, right now my relationship is not where I want it to be, the question then is to ask, what must I change within me to see this relationship expanding and growing in a way that I would love? Not how are you going to change your partner, but how are you going to change? Because that's the only change you can initiate. You can't initiate a change in someone else that's going to hold, because they've got to believe that it serves it. They may do it for a little while, but then they'll rebel. They'll absolutely rebel. So everything about chaos is how you perceive the world, how you perceive your life, how you perceive your relationships with your partner, with your children, with your parents, with your friends, with your workmates. What is your relationship with money? What is your relationship with your career? What is your relationship with your health and your body? It's all a perception. Absolutely all a perception. See, we can be the initiate of change, and we can do that either from being initiate from the external environment or from within. If it's from the external environment, it means we're reacting. Something really crazy, something really bad has happened, so we've got to it. I prefer before that happens, before I'm there and the doctor says, Lee, you've got 5 blockages to your heart. You got to have open heart surgery. We got to cut you open. Or I can witness that other people have had that and say, oh, I think I'm going to eat this way. I'm going to drink this way. I'm going to exercise this way. And I'm going to relieve stress this way so that that never happens to me. I'm never in that position. I would much rather be the proactive one, knowing that here's a key reason I'm proactive on my health. Without a healthy body, I won't be able to do what I want to do. I'd rather do what I want to do than eat all the crap that would make me sick. So I'm conscious about that. I'm deliberate about that. I don't have to be in the chaos of the world. And I look at fast food, the fast food world and how we're eating. To me, that's chaos. You see, I teach the science of mind that Ernest Holmes put together. And Ernest Holmes, he didn't say this was anything new. It's the summation. It's the collaboration of all of the best that he found in science and religion and philosophy and psychology. And he put it all together. And the science of mind, which I teach, which you're listening to, is a conscious and practical way about bringing the change that you desire in your life. You can bring that change about through the tools that we teach. The tools of meditation, the tools of prayer, the tools of visioning, the tools of visualization, the tools of being in gratitude, the tools of forgiveness, the tools of living in the now. And we can go on and on. But that's what we do here at Agape. We teach practical tools that empower you to create your most expanded and fulfilling life. One of the taglines, the number one tagline at Agape is this: everything begins with you. That means all the power, all the resources, everything that you ever need is within you. You've just got to believe it, and then you've got to study how to use the power that you are. This is what I talk about every week. In fact, I talk about it every day on another podcast. I talk about how to use the power in you to create your life. Remember, you're not responsible for anyone else. You're responsible for you. And when you can embody that, you will understand and you will live from the philosophy that everything begins and ends with you.